Hi, I'm Kevin Uchikai, and this is my Refutation Speech. I would like to start with an excerpt from a piece from Patrick Ross. It's written in December of 2008. It's called A Tale of Two Creators in My Life. Dan makes violins, while Joanne makes best-selling novels. To enjoy Dan's creations, a person must purchase a physical object. To enjoy Joanne's creations, a reader can buy a physical book or purchase a digitalized book online. Dan's right as a creator is not questioned. If someone goes into a shop and takes 5 violins without paying, no one would argue if that's legal or not. Yet in Joanne's case, someone would argue it's different if the same person makes 5 copies online and doesn't pay for them. The claim I am responding to is regarding internet piracy, the theft of intellectual property through file sharing technology. Intellectual property is defined as property that results from original creative thought as patents, copyright material, and trademark. The claim is his claim is that lawsuits against piracy are unnecessary in coping with copyright infringements. His first claim is that groups who fight copyright infringements set extreme consequences. His second claim is that illegal file sharing will continue regardless of the numerous lawsuits targeting individuals. Many consumers believe that CDs are becoming overpriced relative to decreasing cost of production. Therefore, it would be logical for someone to avoid paying an unreasonable price for an album. And his third claim is that the entertainment and music industry will still thrive despite copyright infringement. So once again, my opponent's first claim is groups who fight copyright infringement set extreme consequences. My response to that is that he cites dollar amounts in his examples, such as seeking statutory damages ranging from $30,000 to $150,000 for each infringement. He also states, well, activism is suing Strickland a minimum of $30,000 for each infringement. Yet he states no facts where he gets this information from. And also, he says that the consequences are extreme, but they're not extreme. If you steal something worth $10,000 and you're fined $500, that's still $9,500 profit. It's a pretty good deal. The courts are charged with setting the amount of damages from each individual case. The consequences also serve as a deterrent to illegal file sharing. If people knew that there were no real consequences for internet theft, they would be more likely to engage in illegal file sharing. By making people realize that they could be fined from this illegal file sharing, by making significant amount of money fines, they'll be more inclined to avoid the theft. For example, if I wanted to go hiking on the Mount Wilson Trail, but because of all these fires, they close it down, and they put $5 fine if you go on the trail. No, I wouldn't think I'd still go on the trail. It's only a $5 fine. But if it said $20,000 fine and 10 years in jail, well, that's a harsher penalty. I'd think twice before I did that. His second claim is that illegal file sharing will continue regardless of the numerous lawsuits targeting individuals. Many consumers believe that CDs are becoming more of a price relative to decreasing cost of production. Therefore, it would be logical for someone to avoid paying an unreasonable price for an album. My response is lawsuits brought against... Hold on, let me start with a quote. This is from the International Federation of Phonographic Industry. Lawsuits brought against people for music piracy, for example, do reduce the amount of illegal file sharing. So it will be reduced. And the International Federation of Phonographic Industry also states that since the beginning of international lawsuits against internet piracy, infringing music files on the internet overall are down 20% between June 2003 and January 2008. Also, an opinion is cited to support his claim, but no real evidence is presented that illegal file sharing will continue regardless of lawsuits. How can you evaluate a deterrent effect of threats of lawsuits? My opponent's reasoning seems to be that if you believe something is illegal, that you can steal it. If a company that purchases the right to distribute a song, for example, and let's say it was a big company like Sony who has lots of money, and they need potential sales of 1 million CDs, and they sell them at $5 a piece in order to make profit. But 500,000 of them are distributed illegally. Therefore, you would have to pay $10 instead of $5, and the honest people would be stuck paying that $10 because the people illegally download them online. Copyright laws gives the owner of product control in how to distribute or not distribute the property. Just because somebody has the means to steal it does not mean it is okay to steal it. And his final supporting claim, which is the third one, is the entertainment and music industry will still continue to thrive despite copyright infringement. Once again, even if this is true, just because you can steal something does not make it right. Furthermore, I believe the little guy who does not have the resources that the big companies in the entertainment industry, such as Sony, has, will suffer. His or her intellectual property is stolen. He or she won't have the means to go after it. If the theft is a large company, would this person have the resources to fund a huge legal campaign against them? Probably not. There's a reference to a hypothetical distribution method in his essay, and it is said to no longer be, that the RIAA is no longer to be needed, but no clear alternative is given. If there is a better way where people's constitutional protection to intellectual property is better enforced, then I'm all for it. It also states at copyright.gov that it is illegal to download stuff, and it's stated in the 17th title of the U.S. Code. The industry will survive and prosper. It does not justify illegal file sharing or the damages to it. Like I said earlier, large corporations and organizations may survive and prosper despite illegal file sharing, but individuals and small entities will tend to suffer. Consumers will pay higher prices for products, and individuals may have spent years in their lives creating something with potential to earn them hundreds and thousands or even millions of dollars, and they could all lose that in days or hours. There's a lady named Megan Taylor whose song career was destroyed by illegal file sharing. She had spent years slowly building up her career, only to lose it in a few short days because over 100 people illegally distributed her music. So my conclusion is until a better method or methods are established, lawsuits, the internet pirates should remain in place as means to protect intellectual property. These lawsuits are necessary. Thank you very much.
All right, you've got a quote to use for your attention advice. You label the advocate's claims pretty clearly. As you get to the first point, you signpost it. The explanation about why the punishments are as high as they are is okay. I think that you want to use some of the examples that the advocate used as an illustration of why they are proportional, why they would in fact have a deterrent effect. Deterrence is the main argument that you've got on that point, and you've got the hypothetical illustration that works okay. On the second point, a good clear transition. This one I think you've got the clearest response on that is directly applicable to the argument. You want to challenge the advocate's claim or the grounds that they're using that it's not going to have any impact, because let's face it, when you contrast it to the evidence that you have, that these lawsuits have had an effect, that there's been a 20% decline in this kind of infringement since the lawsuits have started, that seems to suggest that it has been effective in some way, shape, or form. Now contrast that with the evidence that the advocate presents, which was either negligible or inconclusive, non-existent, and that's the way you want to make that contrast. I think it would work a little bit better. And then you've got the hypothetical cost issue that it kind of explains it. Get the last point about the impact that it's going to have on other people. I thought that you explained that pretty well, and you've got one illustration on that point. Okay, I think that's as far as we're going to be able to go tonight, so we're going to